Imagine waking up tomorrow to find that everything you've worked for, your money, your status, your possessions, is gone. Your reputation destroyed, your career finished, your comfort stripped away. Most people would collapse into despair, rage, or even madness. But the Stoics, the ancient philosophers who lived nearly 2,000 years ago, would smile. Not because they enjoyed suffering, but because they had trained for this exact moment. For them, the loss of everything external was not the end. It was simply another exercise in living according to nature, in mastering the only thing that was ever truly theirs, their own mind. This is the world of Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that continues to guide soldiers, leaders, athletes, and ordinary people today. A philosophy born in the chaos of collapsing empires, yet still relevant in our chaotic modern world. So today, let's dive deep into the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, and explore how Stoicism can transform your life, not in theory, but in practice. This is not about cold logic or abstract philosophy. This is about survival, resilience, and freedom in a world that constantly tries to break you. At the heart of Stoicism lies one simple, powerful truth. Some things are within our control, and some things are not. Epictetus, once a slave, later a teacher, put it bluntly. Happiness and freedom begin with a clear understanding of one principle. Some things are within our control, and some are not. Think about your own life. You can't control whether people like you. You can't control whether the economy crashes, whether the weather ruins your plans, or whether illness strikes someone you love. These things lie outside your control. But what is always within your control is how you respond, your choices, your judgments, your actions. The Stoics called this the dichotomy of control. It's simple in words, but brutally hard in practice. Imagine being insulted in front of others. Your instinct might be to snap back, to burn with anger. But the Stoics would remind you, the insult itself is outside your control, but your interpretation of it, your reaction, that belongs to you. If you let the insult control your peace of mind, you've handed your power away. In modern psychology, this principle lives on in cognitive behavioral therapy, which directly draws from Stoicism. CBT teaches that it's not events themselves that disturb us, but our thoughts about those events. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor burdened with ruling the world's greatest empire, said the same. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. So, the first Stoic lesson for modern life. Draw the line between what is yours and what is not. Invest your energy only in what you can truly control. That is the beginning of freedom. The Stoics were not satisfied with mere acceptance of reality. They went further. They taught amor fati, the love of fate. Don't just tolerate life's hardships. Embrace them as necessary, as gifts that make you stronger. Seneca once wrote to his friend Lucilius, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." To a Stoic, every challenge is an opportunity to practice courage, patience, resilience. If you lose your job, it is not just misfortune. It is your chance to practice resourcefulness. If you are betrayed, it is your chance to practice forgiveness or indifference. If you are struck by tragedy, it is your chance to test the strength of your character. This is not naive optimism. The Stoics were not blind to suffering. Marcus Aurelius buried children, waged endless wars, and lived through a devastating plague. Epictetus walked with a crippled leg, the result of abuse and slavery. Seneca was forced to commit suicide on the orders of Nero. They knew suffering intimately, and yet they insisted, life is not happening to you, it is happening for you. Fate is not your enemy, it is your teacher. Imagine adopting this mindset today. Instead of asking, Why me? You ask. Why not me? Instead of resisting fate, you embrace it. That is the radical power of amor fati. Another central Stoic practice is memento mori, the remembrance of death. Not as a morbid obsession, but as a call to live fully, urgently, and meaningfully. The Stoics reminded themselves daily that life is short, fragile, and uncertain. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think. How differently would you live if you remembered that today might be your last? Would you waste hours scrolling through meaningless noise? Would you hold grudges? Would you obsess over wealth, status, and petty concerns? Or would you focus on what truly matters, integrity, love, wisdom, and courage?" Psychology confirms this truth. Studies show that contemplating death increases gratitude, reduces fear, and sharpens our sense of purpose. The Stoics didn't fear death. They saw it as the natural end of life, as much a part of existence as birth. To fear it was irrational. To deny it was foolish. To accept it was wisdom. By practicing memento mori, you awaken to life. Death is not the enemy. It is the reminder to live. Now let's bridge the ancient world to our modern one. Why is Stoicism exploding in popularity today, in an age of smartphones, social media, and endless distractions? Because the challenges may look different, but the human condition is the same. We are still plagued by anxiety, anger, greed, comparison, and fear. Social media amplifies envy. The Stoics remind us what others have is outside our control. Focus only on your virtue. The modern workplace is filled with stress. The Stoics remind us external outcomes are not ours to own. Only effort and integrity are. Relationships often wound us with betrayal or heartbreak. The Stoics remind us, love people deeply, but without clinging to them as if they are possessions. Even in politics and global crises, Stoicism has its voice. Marcus Aurelius ruled during wars and plagues, yet reminded himself daily to remain just, calm, and rational. His advice could be applied today by any leader facing chaos. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Stoicism is not about escaping the world. It is about living in it with strength and clarity. The Stoics often spoke of building an inner fortress, an unshakable citadel of the mind. External things can be taken from you, but your character, your reason, your will, that is yours alone. Marcus Aurelius called it the mind free from passions, a fortress impregnable. Seneca called it a man who masters himself is free. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." In our modern world of constant change and uncertainty, what could be more valuable than this inner fortress? A mind trained not to break under pressure, not to be swayed by the noise of the crowd, not to collapse under fear. This is what Stoicism offers. Not wealth, not fame, not comfort, but freedom. So ask yourself, what would your life look like if you lived like a Stoic? If you focused only on what you can control? If you embraced fate instead of resisting it? If you remembered death each day and built an inner fortress no storm could destroy? You would become unshakable, resilient, free. You would stop being a slave to the opinions of others, to the rise and fall of fortune, to the chaos of the world. The Stoics knew something we've forgotten in our modern obsession with comfort and pleasure. That true strength is not avoiding suffering, but transforming it into wisdom. That true freedom is not doing whatever you want, but mastering yourself. That true happiness is not found in possessions or praise, but in living with virtue, courage, and clarity. And that is why, 2,000 years later, Stoicism is not dead. It is more alive than ever, because the human struggle has not changed. So the next time you feel overwhelmed by life, remember the words of Marcus Aurelius. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength.